Good morning, students. I Neelama here from SKM Public School. Today I am going to teach you unit number 7, that is physiology and injuries in sports. Today I am going to teach you heart tissue injury. So our topic for today is heart tissue injury. In the previous video, you have watched soft tissue injury. Now it's on now hard tissue injury. So hard tissue injuries, these are those injuries involving damage to the bones of the skeleton, and these type of hard tissue injury, they range from severe fractures and joint dislocations to the bruising of the bone. They can be classified, means hard tissue injury can be classified into two categories, bone injury and joint injury. And today you are going to learn about bone injury. You are going to learn about bone injury. In that, bone injury. So this is the topic for today. So let's start about hard tissue injury. Bone injury, fractures, breaking of bone is called fracture. As you know, fracture meaning breaking of bone, that is called fracture. So this can simply be a crack in the structure of the bone or a complete break producing two or more fragments. Causes of bone fractures are trauma such as road traffic accident and falls. This is one of the cause of bone fracture. Can be of sports injuries, medical conditions such as cancers, imperfecta, here osteogenesis, imperfecta, etc. Symptoms of bone fractures are pain. What do we feel when there is fracture? Then at that time, what are the symptoms? Pain, bruises, contusions, bleeding in case of open fractures, deformity, inability to move the limb, swelling also. Then bone fractures are of many types here. Stress fracture. A stress fracture is a small crack in a bone or severe bruising within a bone. Most stress fractures are caused by overuse and repetitive activity and are common in runners and athletes who participate in running sports such as basketball. Management of stress fracture. How we will take care when there is this type of stress fracture. So management of stress fracture are, the initial management for a stress fracture is to elevate the extremity and rest while the bone heals itself. Icing is recommended in affected area for 24 to 48 hours, and any type of activity should not be done. For relieving of pain, painkillers such as paracetamol or ibuprofen may be recommended. The affected area should be immobilized. There should not be any movement in the affected area. When the swelling gets decreased, seeing the skin creases, partial weight can be applied on the area. In some cases, crutches or a walking stick may be necessary. Avoidance in the activity that causes stress fracture is necessary until there is no pain. During returning to the activity should be done slowly, as rushing back may lead to injury again. In severe cases, stress fracture that won't heal on their own may require surgery also. Full recovery may require months or years, so better to take precautions. Then bone injury number 2, that is green stick fracture. This type of fracture is very common in small case. The bone may crack and bend without breaking into pieces or parts. So management of green stick fracture: the bone is slightly pulled apart and put into place to straighten it. To make sure that the fracture will heal correctly, it is needed to be immobilized. A movable splint is the most recommended one among children. Physiotherapy should be given to regain mobility and movement of the affected limb. In severe cases, surgery is advised to correct the fracture. When surgery is done post-operative, traction may be used to straighten the hard fracture. In order to reduce swelling on the affected side, anti-inflammatory drugs can be given. Generally, it takes 8 weeks for complete bone healing. High impact activities should be avoided in the beginning when there is case of green stick fracture. Third type of fracture is comminuted fracture. When the bone is broken into so many pieces or parts, it is called comminuted fracture. So management of comminuted fracture: the management as well as treatment for comminuted fracture is not easy because of many shattered pieces of bones. The shattered pieces are lined up in a procedure labeled as reduction. Immobilization above and below the fractured area should be maintained with the help of plasters and splints. For pain management, ibuprofen can be used. If bone infection arises, antibiotics can be given. This type of fracture takes more time to restore to its normal condition. Regular appointment with a doctor is recommended. Physical therapy should be given to the patient for speedy recovery. Then comes transverse fracture. Number 4, transverse fracture. So this type of fractures involves breakage in one of the bones of the spine or a part of it. These injuries mostly occur in the thoracic spine, the upper and the middle parts of the vertebra and lumbar region. Management of transverse fractures are: if the injury is limited to a break of transverse process with no other injury, then it is not necessary to have the hospital care. Bed rest, medications for pain control, avoidance in the activity is required until complete rehabilitation. Operation may be required in severe cases like multiple fracture of spine. Then after initial pain goes, strengthening training under supervision is necessary so that the bone attains its normal ability. Exercise should be done to improve motion and to strengthen back. Then oblique bone, number 5, oblique bone fracture. Oblique bone fracture, these are slanted fractures that occur when a force is applied at any angle other than a right angle to the bone. So management of oblique bone fracture are the treatment options for an oblique fracture depend on the severity of the crack or bone, crack or break, crack of bone or breaking of bone. Then anti-inflammatory medications and pain relievers are given to handle pain. In some instances, the doctor may need to perform a reduction, which is the process of resetting the bone. In other cases, the doctor may restrict mobility by placing the broken bone in a brace, sling, or cast for several weeks also. Sometimes surgery is required to insert nails, screws, wires, or other devices to help the bones to heal. Impacted fracture. Number 6 type of fracture is impacted fracture. And in this type of fracture, the broken ends of fractured bones enter into another bone. The broken parts of the fractured bone, that broken part enter where? Into another bones. So management of impacted fracture are a sling or a splint may be required to keep the fractured bone in place. It prevents the movement of the sharp ends of the broken bone and further not drive into another bone fragments. If an impacted fracture only involves a few bone fragments and the damage is not too significant, immobilization may be enough to treat it. Severe cases may require surgery also. After surgery, a cast or sling is used to allow bone fragments to reunite. It's necessary to minimize movements of the affected part while the treatment is going on. So today you have learned about different types of bone fracture. First it was stress fracture. It was stress fracture. So you have learned first type of fracture, that is stress fracture. Then green stick fracture. Stress fracture, green stick fracture. Number 3, comminuted fracture and transverse fracture. Comminuted fracture or transverse fracture. Then number 5, you have learnt about oblique bone fracture, impacted fracture. Oblique bone fracture, and 6 was impacted fracture. Oblique bone fracture and number 6 impacted fracture. And they learned about the management, and in case of these types of bone fracture, bone injury, then These types of fracture may occur: stress fracture, ring stick fracture, communicate fracture, transverse fracture, oblique fracture, and impacted fracture. And when there is case of these type of fracture, then which type of management should be taken? What steps should be taken? So this you have learned today in this video, and your work is to prepare notes according to this topic. And till then, stay alert, stay healthy, and mask yourself. Take proper care. Thank you. Have a nice day.